I'm going to speed my video up to 3 times the normal speed. Show you a little bit of my setup there. I'm looking at my Chromebook always with the photograph on it while I paint. Now, I have sketched in the image ahead of time, very likely. So while you may not be able to see the pencil lines, I can. And that's the goal. You don't want pencil lines to be visible in your final product. So just like I did with the scale from light to dark, and just like I did with the sphere and the bottle, I want to start by painting in the lightest areas. So the areas that I want to remain white, I'm going to leave those as dry paper. And then I'll pretty much paint in the entire rest of the image with a very light, well, I'm using a reddish brown, but you can use whatever color you want. Keep it as a relatively dark pigment, though. Don't use something like yellow. Now, I'm trying to do this with the brush that you got with the set. Hopefully you took an extra brush, a larger brush. You can use that to paint in the larger areas to save some time. Remember, this video is speeded up 3 times the normal speed. And I'm also painting probably faster than you should. So while this is a 10-minute video, the actual painting took me a little over 45 minutes. I'd like to see you guys putting in over an hour on the painting. Be patient. Remember, this is just layer by layer. The image is not going to necessarily appear immediately. It's going to take a little while to take shape. If you want the layers to blend a little bit, you don't have to wait for it to dry completely. But if you do want the layers to be very distinct, if that helps you, then make sure they're dry between layers. You can use a blow dryer if you need to dry the layers between painting. Now, when I paint portraits of myself, I like to make kind of an awkward face. So in this case, I'm kind of squinting my eyes a little bit and twisting my mouth, and I have my tongue hanging out. I do that with my students for a reason. Painting a face can be very intimidating initially, especially if it's your own. It's a face that you clearly recognize, so any small imperfections will be exaggerated for you. You'll notice them immediately. And that can kind of be intimidating for a beginning artist. So rather than paint yourself making a nice smile, pretty calm face, make an odd face. Kind of twist your mouth a little bit, squint one of your eyes or something, raise an eyebrow, make a funny face. And the reason for that is that if there are some imperfections in your painting, they're not going to be as noticeable to you. They'll look almost purposeful. If you make a funny face and the painting looks funny, well, then you're successful. Don't outline your teeth. Just give an indication that the teeth are there. Now, I'll show you the photo again that I'm using when we're done. I selected one that probably has about 6 different values to it. If you're finding it's too complicated, then go in and edit the photo again and reduce the amount of values that you see. Make it a little simpler. If you find that your painting was way too simple, too easy, then go back in and add more values to it. Make it a little bit more complex. In other words, adjust this image to fit your skill level. If you notice an area is too dark, you can go in and pick up some of the paint with a dry brush, as long as it hasn't fully dried yet. Just go layer by layer. Don't have your head just floating in space. Hopefully when you edited the photo, you left a little bit of your shoulders in there. Give an indication of your shoulders so it's not just a floating head. I'm wearing a hoodie, so paint what you see. Don't let your brain tell you what something is supposed to look like. A lot of students will get intimidated with the eyes and they'll paint just like cartoon eyes, an almond shape with a circle in it. Try to avoid that. Look at the shadows and the shapes that form your eye and just paint those shadows and shapes. My beard creates some interesting texture around my face. Probably something you guys won't have to worry about. Although you guys have hair to deal with, I don't. All right, so there's the photo I was going off of. I could keep working on this